really interesting. I baseball is baseball, but a week ago today, we were all asking questions until a week ago asking questions about Tommy Tanks. Well, it looks like Tommy Tanks is back. Tommy Tanks might be one of the hottest hitters right now in the country. I mean, 4 home runs in 4 straight games. He had 4 hits tonight against a 16-win Louisiana Tech. I mean, they have more wins than a lot of people in the country. So I do look at a guy like Tommy Tanks here tonight, having 4 hits, hitting another home run. If he just doesn't start being the catalyst for your offense, start helping out other guys, gaining confidence, hitting is contagious. Now, can you carry that over to Florida? By the way, they just lost to Jacksonville in a midweek. But it didn't affect them last weekend against A&M. There's so many different and wild things that we discuss here. And baseball is one of them. We got tons to talk about. Also, the season is officially done for LSU men's basketball. So we are going to touch on that as well. I'm going to make one proclamation. Actually, I might even make it right now. Number one, I am a little bit getting sick and tired of, not about Will Wade. Like, Will Wade's fine, okay, in reference to a person, coach, whatever. I have no ill will whatsoever towards Will Wade. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I hope that he has success. Continue and will continue to say that. Good for him, okay? The bottom line is, to LSU fans, after the season was over tonight, already the first thing a lot of you started saying was, wouldn't have happened if Will Wade was here. Might not have. But at some point, you're going to have to move on. At some point, we need to take what LSU has and see if Matt McMahon can rebuild this thing. If you have an issue, guys, call 1-800-SCOTT Woodward. I don't have the words or anything else to tell you. That has to be it. Either you're going to continue to put focus on it and not blame Scott for firing him. By the way, kind of put into a corner, meaning Scott, because with all of the Will Wade drama, the NCAA started looking into football. James Craig was somebody who I know for a fact, can't get closer to this source on this, told me directly James Craig's firing because of the NCAA stuff comes directly from the NCAA investigating Will Wade. Blake, how are the two sports connected? They were on campus. They were doing interviews through some small preliminary thing when the NCAA was talking about Will Wade during or talking about violations even during COVID. Somehow, some way, hint, hint, wink, wink, led to, well, football team gets to do it. I mean, hell, Tristan Lee was on campus. I heard he was at James Craig's house. Again, don't have an issue with Will Wade. But you're going to have to call Scott Woodward if you have a massive issue with this. That's all I can tell you. And then, like you did with Joe Oliva, put that check mark next to it of things that you check off. Hey, man, this is one bad miss. Okay, one bad miss that we give Scott Woodward. But you cannot say that Scott is very cerebral in everything that he does. Could he have missed? Sure, he can miss. But I know the politics and the backdoor politics that were played here. Your argument is not Matt McMahon and Will Wade. It's not even really Will Wade and Scott Woodward. What it truly is between Will Wade and Will Wade. Because LSU did not force him to do any of those things. Now, he was a competitor. He wants to win. See, what gets lost in all of this, okay, and I'm going way too long on this, but it just like he could have taken any group of 5 team in the country and turned them around. He chose McNeese. He chose to stay in Louisiana. Good for him. I mean, I'm surprised some of you have not come to me yet and said to yourselves, well, you know, Blake, if you're going to talk about Scott Woodward, he did let that whole Will Wade thing happen. And by the way, the coach that he got at Texas A&M, Jimbo Fisher, absolutely failed. Maybe Scott isn't the guy we thought. In which, an instant, all I would say is Kim Mulkey and Jay Johnson. I should throw Brian Kelly in there, but some of you don't think logically sometimes, and you don't actually look at reality. So I can't throw Brian Kelly in there because it's going to be too much of an argument. Bottom line becomes, it's time to move on. I still have a lot of faith in Matt McMahon. I think he's going to rebuild it and is rebuilding it the right way. He's not going to tolerate bullshit. Think he's a great X's and O's guy. Now we have to start seeing him recruit. Right? Like now, okay, look, I have been more than fair with Matt McMahon in the first 2 years. When the day that Will Wade was fired, I told you, whoever the next head coach is, I'm not going to really say anything about their coaching ability for the first 2 years because punishment's being handed down. Punishment was handed down. Now the clock starts ticking for Matt. And I like Matt a lot. A hell of a lot. Okay? And we'll continue to. All I am saying here is I do think that Matt going from 2 wins to 9 wins in conference bodes well because I think that they're going to be even better next year. I really do think that you're going to be I'm just going to say this. I think you're a tournament team next year. I'm going to go out on a very strong limb, not knowing where he's going to replace some things. I do know this. It's not as if Matt McMahon doesn't know and isn't already out there recruiting in the portal, because he is. He 1,000% is. So give him time. Even if next year they miss the tournament, but you just know they're a lot better. I think he does have to get into the tournament for a lot of people and the noise to calm down around him. But that's still like a year or 2 to me. This was always going to have to be patience with him. He's going to have a longer leash than anybody, at least in my opinion. He should have a longer leash than any coach that Scott Woodward has hired. Any. You got to give him 40 years, guys. And unless it falls flat on its face, and I'm talking about you don't have a conference win next year, or you only have 2 or 3. You got to give it time, dude. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Kim Mulkey, they're building a new arena. Kim Mulkey said, well, I'm not going to be coaching here when that thing's fully built. I don't mean this in a wrong way. I really don't. But that arena is not built for women's basketball. Okay, I understand concerts, whatever. The investment, and I'm telling you this, the backdoor politics that was played, William Tate, Scott Woodward, yeah, they talked about women's basketball to who needed to hear it. Behind closed doors, they were like, yeah, we want to invest into this men's basketball program. What do we need to do? Deep sourcing, especially from the former world that I come from on Government Street in Baton Rouge. All right, we got lots to discuss. I still believe in Matt McMahon, man. That's all that I'm going to say. I know I went on a little tirade and a little rant, okay? It was what it was. All right. We got tons and tons to discuss. Want to talk about this game. Want to preview a little bit at the end about LSU baseball going into the Florida series. Florida lost tonight. By the way, Mississippi State, guys, might not be bad. They are destroying the baseball. Like, Mississippi State has hit a stride. So, let's see if it continues for the weekend. Maybe you lost 2 or 3 to a really good team. Maybe. The way that they're hit, I mean, guys, they had another double-digit run game. They've scored 40 runs in 4 games. Over 40 runs in 4 games, actually. I think it was, 46? They've scored 46 runs in 4 games. They are destroying everything in their path. So, with even looking at Mississippi State, we'll preview Florida because maybe you did not even have a bad series last weekend. That's why baseball and college baseball is so freaking awesome and so freaking great. We'll talk about it here. I am going to add something. We won't be doing our show around your SEC tomorrow. We'll be at football practice. So tomorrow night's show is going to be a really good one because we'll preview Florida too. Good Wednesday night show. We will preview Florida then. But I will tell you, being out of practice tomorrow, I mean, I got to be there early. Like, what is it, 7:50, 8 o'clock? We'll be out there. Also with that, okay, around your SEC, we're going to move that to Thursday. So just a little programming note too. But I see this, which leads me to this as well. I am going to add the Caden Proctor thing in here from today. We'll talk about it on Rufino and Joe show too, but I got to add this into this show because it's getting out of hand. Mark Allen says, is Moses visiting A&M? Well, apparently, Texas A&M guys are reporting that he is not visiting Texas A&M. My man went quiet. My man went quiet there for a minute. Keelan Moses was all on social media, backed off the last month or so, and looks to be back. So I don't know. I don't know. I think you're fine there. Look, man, he's a kid. I just, oh man. Rand says that death taxes Florida losing midweek games. I know, man. I know. I don't get it for Florida. I truly don't. I truly don't. Okay. Let's talk about this post game, and then we need to get to some football, some programming notes there too, and I'll talk about Caden Proctor. We do that. Stay with us. Everybody do us a favor. Hit the like and share. If you're on Facebook, like, share to all those groups, social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell. Wherever you listen to podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe. Let me take a quick break. Come back, talk a little baseball. Got some programming stuff for football, and then we'll talk this Caden Proctor thing. Maybe a little bit of recruiting in here, too, if you ask the right questions. All right, stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag. Bet.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
All right. Let's get this thing rolling, y'all. I don't know. There are a lot, though. I do think that Tommy Tanks has got to be one of the hottest hitters in the country right now. I mean, look, 4 home runs in 4 games. He had 4 hits tonight. Look, had an offseason where he was not able to suit up, had surgery. You know all about it. I think the biggest thing for me is now we're midway through March, and he's already starting to hit his stride. Can't say that. Well, Blake, you know he played Louisiana Tech tonight. Well, Louisiana Tech's got 16 wins. Okay, you're looking at a Mississippi State team who, by the way, we just discussed, scored 40-plus runs in their last 4 games. Tommy White is on fire. The question becomes now, with his hot bat and him looking like he is back, does everybody around him start getting going? Look, Travinsky hits a home run. Jones gets another one here tonight. You just start asking yourself, have you put the pieces together so that maybe you can start getting things rolling this weekend versus Florida, who just lost a midweek game to Jacksonville? They're not panicking. They won their SEC series. But they lost a midweek. Doesn't really matter to them. Look, I think it's going to be such an interesting series coming up. And tonight's game, I like Mac Bingham hitting in the lead hole again. I know he did it this weekend, but I like Bingham leading off. Who is going to be one of your guys that's going to get on base a lot, or at least be effective enough, or be dangerous enough that, hey, man, I can't walk Mac Bingham because Tommy Tanks is up. And there's no telling what that behemoth of a man is going to do. I like Bingham there. Are there frustrating at-bats from Bingham? Yes. I mean, that's like everybody right now. But Mac Bingham, okay, singles in the first. Tommy Tanks singles right behind him. I know that they were both infield singles, but one was an infield single by Tommy, but I mean, ball was hit at 107 off the bat, so what do I know? Bingham comes back up, okay, after the first into the second, hits a fly out. But the problem was he saw all fastballs in that at bat. He just misses one, and he's there with contact. White comes up in singles. Jones hits the home run into right. You got Bingham coming back up in the third inning. So Kling doubles in the left. Milazzo strikes out. But here's why I think that Mac Bingham has helped Tommy White get going too. Because Bingham is having to see a lot of pitches, and he's capitalizing on a lot of it. He was very streaky during the weekend. Like even game 1, he was okay. Like, all right, well, he's having a nice little day here. Hits a home run as well. But he comes up in the bottom of the third and gets an RBI. Again, being a dude that has come up here tonight and looked sharp enough to where, hey, man, Bingham, White, and Jones, we're going to have to really, really be selective with what we're doing on the mound. We have to be super selective. I like what I saw tonight. The thing about what I saw tonight, though, is, yes, it's against a more inferior team that you are going to face this weekend. Didn't see the quality of pitching, okay, that you're going to see this weekend. But I got to admit, if this team can just be more consistent, and I don't want to say this weekend was a wake-up call. I really don't think it was a wake-up call. I think you got beat by a really good team at home who wanted it more than you did. You could say it's a wake-up call, maybe. I understand the argument behind it, but I'm just not with you there. I mean, guys, you lost one weekend series. I mean, we do this in baseball, right? Like, even though Auburn, okay, ruled you, and then you got beaten that series, and you come back in Mississippi State, oh, Blake, well, that was later in the year. I don't give two Rudy Poos when it was. I could honestly care less because I do like what I'm seeing. Even though you got beat, okay, in a weekend series, I think that there were stretches you're like, God dang, man, they're looking sharp. They're looking sharp. And then second half of the game, you're highly inconsistent. Very much what happened to you on Friday night. Very much what happened to you on Saturday at the end. Thank God you got out there with a win. And then on Sunday, it just felt like you were so defeated. Right? Like, I felt like LSU this past weekend played two games emotionally that were very high. High intensity. Friday night for sure. They come out early in game 2. They put it on State. Hey, man, if you get that shit out of here. But they had to battle the entire way. And emotionally, I got to be honest, I think was a little draining. Because on Sunday, you look bad. And it was funny in looking bad, you put up a nice, decent number of runs. Not enough for a Sunday. Jay admitted that. He goes, guys, you remember how – he said this in his press conference yesterday. Do you remember how many times we had to we just had explosions on Sundays. It was the longest games that we were having. Now, obviously, that's Paul Skeens on Friday. You get what he was trying to say there. You were just dicking down everybody on Sundays, or they were dicking you down. Pause, times 2. But I remember, again, Auburn ruling you on a Sunday. I think it was 12-2. It's baseball, man. You got to give them at minimum 3 weekends to say, oh, man, they don't look good. Meanwhile, the opponent you face lost a midweek game. They've lost a lot of midweek games. I think 3. Maybe I'm wrong on that count, but it feels like 3. Well, no, they lost their game 1 in the beginning of the year, so that wouldn't technically be a midweek, but the opener and a couple of midweeks. Doesn't matter, really. I mean, not for the talent that could come in here and do what they can do. It's the same for you. It's the same for you. Now, I will tell you, it does put pressure on you in reference to if you're Florida and you go 16-14 in the league, 17-13 in the league, you're like, oh man, we're getting in. We're Florida. We're getting in. Like you're having those conversations with your buddies, like we're getting in. Those midweek losses could really help you because some of those teams are going to be teams that are in a regional. It happens every year, not just for LSU. Not just for LSU. It happens for Florida just as much. I mean, guys, remember last year when we had a midweek game versus Tulane and they sucked. Tulane sucked. Everybody's like, man, remember last year? Everybody's like, man, Tulane, bro. Damn, son. Damn. That thing has fallen off. That program has fallen off. Then all of a sudden they go into their tournament. They win the fucking thing. And then they play you game 1 against or in a regional. Remember, the whole conversation was, well, do you really start Paul Skeens against Tulane? That was the argument everybody on social media was having. What a dummy. I don't remember my answer to that. When I was asked if he should throw on Friday, I think I said, I think you do exactly whatever Jay wants to do. I think my answer was, you let Paul tell you. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, I just got sent a screenshot of something. I just got sent a screenshot of something. Oh, boy. So great. So great. Gotta get people who have following on social media. Oh, dear Lord. It's why I like talking national sports sometimes more than just being on a beat and talking about one team. I'm just being dead honest. Because when I talk about national sports, or like me and Joe talk about college football on Rafino and Joe show, you need to go over there and listen to it. I get shit from fans. You know what's so crazy? I don't really get shit from anybody else's media anywhere else. Actually, I don't. Talk to a lot of them every single day. A lot of them are my really good friends. Problem being, this place sometimes, man, can just be so toxic. So toxic. And I'm not talking about somebody with a small following. Oh, Jesus, please help me. Sometimes this beat, man. Whew. Yes, indeed. Just a dude says pause. Yeah, big time pause. I like this comment here. James Hidalgo says Bucknam has a nice breaking ball, drew a lot of ground balls. Not only that, I got a very, very hot take for you. Here's a very, 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 very hot take. I think that what happened with, and again, it is what it is. What happened last year with Bucknam wasn't fair. Remember the South Carolina game, the real action that we saw Bucknam in? Pretty sure it was Bucknam against South Carolina. Actually, I know for a fact it was Bucknam. We put him in, okay, and it's the game where it rained and then Paul Skeens and he gets taken out, and then you get beat on Friday. All that. Y'all remember that. I'm pretty sure Bucknam was the one who had to stay in because Jay was like, hey, man, we're going to lose this game. I'm not wasting my pen. Look, can you throw 100 pitches? Yes, sir, I can throw 100 pitches. I'm fine. I'm just tired. I haven't thrown this many innings. Hadn't thrown this many pitches. You hadn't allowed me in a game or inter squad, anything to throw this many pitches, not even in a bullpen. I just – it was unfair, the criticism that kid got last year. He comes out, and I don't think he's looked bad, to be real with you. I don't think he's looked bad in his performances. He hasn't looked great. Just think he's somebody that, hey, when if you're up, God willing, please, Jesus, let this happen. If you're up 3, 4, 5 runs, do you let Bucknam come in for a batter or two and see what he can do? Not in critical situations. Let him lead off an inning, do something. Because I think he has deserved a shot versus running some of the same guys out there that are getting rocked at the current moment. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation because there is one thing I will continue to give you hints on before we actually get to like when the meat of the season. Pause. Some of the guys that are coming out of the bullpen lately have been getting their shit absolutely rocked. Now, I don't know how much you judge them off of Mississippi State because, again, Mississippi State might be the hottest team in the country. People are like, they lost, they won 2-1 versus UNO. Well, okay. Well, they were in was it Mobile or Bay St. Louis or Biloxi? They played UNO in Biloxi for 2 games. Yeah, nobody. I don't know, and I'd have to be counted on this. I just don't know if anybody has been better at scoring runs than they have. Nobody. We saw them this weekend, and they just put up a 15 burger tonight against Memphis. Shout out to Matt Reiser, the former Southeastern coach who got fired and is now at Memphis. He failed up. Matt Reiser, the Southeastern head baseball coach, failed successfully up. Yikes. The Hammond people are going to kill me for that one. That's why they probably don't speak to me. Speaking of local sports, why in the double hockey sticks, HE double hockey sticks, I like that saying, did we sign Chase Young knowing he might miss from a neck surgery? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe wasn't that serious. I don't know. But Saints are going to Saints. And I tell you this all the time. I'm spending 5 seconds on this. I tell you this all the time. Oh, well. I'm not good addition, bad addition, doesn't matter. I'm not behind Dennis Allen, bro. I'm just not. He had his first winning season ever. He's been a coach, he's been a head coach for 6 seasons, just got his first one. We'll see, man. We will see. I don't know about that. Going into Florida, very quickly before we get to some football, because we'll be out there tomorrow for practice. We're going to break them down a lot tomorrow. Just give you our key points, give you some key thoughts on how we see the series or how I see the series. They lost tonight. I was watching both games at the same time. I literally had one screen with men's basketball, LSU baseball, and then Florida baseball. I mean, Jack Caglione hit 2 home runs tonight. It's the first time in history, and I'm taking this from our guys from 11.7 baseball. First time in history that somebody has pitched a Sunday game, 5+ innings, and then turned around in a midweek and had 2 home runs in the same game. Guys, they're still extremely talented. To be honest with you, they're a lot like you right now, other than they have more midweek losses than you do. Just being real with you. I guess you could say the difference is they beat A&M at home this weekend, even though every team on the road in the SEC week 1 lost. They're a lot like you. What if Jack Caglione gets hot at the plate like he did tonight? What if Tommy Tanks has hit 4 home runs in 4 games and had 4 hits tonight? It's a lot of the same. You're just very similar in every aspect. And truth be told, right now, LSU and Florida baseball do have a lot in common. I hate to say it like that, but both have a hell of a lot in common. Man, just more that we know, the less that we don't. But yeah, you resemble one another a lot. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if LSU can take it. And I think that you got to start putting some games together. How much is Luke Holman going to come out and prove a point? Like, hey, man, okay, I didn't have a really great performance against Mississippi State, I only give up two runs. It wasn't all of my fault. I mean, the guys behind me should have rolled some double plays and get me out of innings. How much does he want to prove? How much does Gage Jump get better and more acclimated back into baseball after his next start having some adversity? So even Thatcher Hurd, what do you do there? I mean, do you continue to go to him? Do you give Cade Anderson another look? Do you give him maybe a start on a Sunday? I don't know all of that. I'll tell you this. I didn't like Cade Anderson. I didn't like his demeanor, okay? I sure as hell did not like Cade Anderson's demeanor coming out of the bullpen. I really just don't think that kid is a reliever. I think, and I know it's only one appearance, I honestly believe either you're going to need to start him or start him on Sunday or do something. Maybe let Hurd come in behind him. Maybe that's your 1-2. Maybe you rotate there. I don't really know what specifically, but he just didn't look comfortable. It was the most uncomfortable that kid has been all year. Again, some guys just aren't like the roles that you try to put them in. They're not conducive enough, but give him another shot, I guess. See what he does out of the pen. If he can be a big addition for you, they're big lefty coming up. I mean, honestly, I think your best lefty right now. And you got to get Nate Ackenhausen a little bit more involved. And I think of everything that happened last weekend, Nate Ackenhausen not seeing more pitches and Nate Ackenhausen not playing more this week or throwing more this weekend really bothered Jay. I really do. From listening to his press conference. If you listen closely enough, Jay will tell you when he's like, hey, man, here's what I think about the series. You can have your own opinion. Here's mine. And basically what he'll do, he'll line it up in order. Okay? Hey, guys, if we make – look, basically what Jay said was, hey, man, I know, all right? I understand that it looks worse than – it just looks really bad. It looks worse than maybe it really is. Here's my 3 points. And he basically – but the media is too dumb sometimes to pick this up. He basically gives you boom, boom, boom. We got to make some couple of plays in the defense. I think our defense is going to be really good. Don't get me wrong. We missed some plays. I think the momentum completely switches back in our favor if we make some more of those plays that we had come accustomed to making. Secondly, hey, guys, we're not a bad offensive team right now. Like, I mean, having 8 runs, having as many runs as they did this weekend, their damn selves, some of the power that they had. 6 runs, okay, you're not bad. I mean, it's not bad. You didn't do completely horrendous. However, if you think that averaging 6 runs in a game is going to ever get you a sweep, it's not going to. It's like I know that I can't say that the guys at the plate were doing bad, but hey, by the way, you're going to have to pick it up too. Thirdly, Jay, getting to Nate Ackenhausen and saying, I can't let that kid go a weekend in the SEC and only throw 10 pitches. The third one got to him. Small little tells. Jay always gives previews of what he's going to do. I don't know if you're in a close game on Friday night. I would honestly, and now the situation is going to dictate it. Remember that I said this. If I'm wrong, then delete this from your memory. I never said it. When Luke Coleman comes out of the game, I think Nate Ackenhausen is going to be the next guy that we see on Friday night. Now, if you're blowing Florida out or if they're blowing you out, then maybe not. If Luke Coleman is, throwing a shutout into 6-7 innings, maybe not, but he probably would. I think he's going nasty Nate Ackenhausen. First guy out of the pen. And again, unless something absolutely ridiculous happens. All right. Let's get to some football stuff. I'll get to some of y'all's comments here. Stephen Fry, our good buddies over at Fry Construction, says, sadly, the games this weekend weren't close enough to send Ackenhausen to the hill to hold the lead or keep it close. Yeah, maybe Friday. Maybe. Like maybe. Shit, Stephen, maybe Saturday too, because, I mean, you could have gone to him sooner. Saturday, you definitely could. Earlier. Sunday, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you. I don't know. Good point, though. I don't know. My guy, Stephen Fry, over at Fry Construction. By the way, I sent out some invites to all of my Facebook friends today. A lot of you that are watching this show on Facebook, and you're not hitting you haven't followed the page. But you're in here every night. You know who you are. Go like the page on Facebook. Go follow the page on Facebook. By the way, they just gave us some Facebook giving out some more money. You know, it's funny. I got called Facebook guy by someone in the media. And what's funny about that is, did you know that live streaming platforms like shows like mine, did you know that Facebook was the second watched thing from a show in the world behind YouTube? Huh. Just a Facebook guy. Y'all put down on Facebook because Zuckerberg can be interesting. Don't put down on the book, man. Don't do it. Okay. Let's see here. Spectrum Wellcare says would have pulled Hurd in the fourth and put in Ackenhausen. Maybe so. He stayed with, man, I will tell you, Jay stayed with Thatcher longer than I thought he would. John Sibley Butler says Tigers got well tonight. Got to carry it over to Florida series, no doubt. Justin Dude says Zach. I always say Zach because Zach Pearson used to come on our show a lot. Josh Pearson is seeing the ball well. He is. Especially now after I talk shit all week. See, again, I talked shit about Pearson last week. He's making me look like a damn fool. Hey, man, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I kind of got on Pearson last week. Don't let anybody ever tell you that Blake doesn't think that he's always right, because I'm not. If anyone ever tells you that, tell him, man, come on, Blake. I was on a show. I heard Blake. I mean, he admitted twice on the show when he was wrong. Dylan L says Milam seems to be in a rough patch offensively. Yeah, ever since he got hurt. Remember the little knee thing? What was the little knee thing? You know, he like twisted his knee. Yeah, maybe. Boy, this got some people pissed off tonight, boy. This Will Wade thing. Let me tell you what I put this up about Will Wade on social media. I got some people blasting me on it. He says, I got to be honest. It's time to move. This is what I said. I got to be honest. It's time to move on. He isn't coming back here. If you have a problem, call Scott Woodward's office tomorrow morning. But it's been 2 seasons. It's time on, and now to start focusing on LSU. I mean, you even got media going to Lake Charles, our own media going to Lake Charles, which isn't a problem. I don't have a problem with them going and interviewing Will Wade at all. Saw Will Wade on Minty, was on with Wake Up with Minty this morning. Don't mind it. But I'm just saying, there comes a point where we got to move on a little bit. You want to help the program, help build the program. What's so crazy about this whole media beat, guys, the more we win in any sport, the more money all of us make. the more quote unquote some of you are in this because you want to be famous. You've admitted it. Help. Stop bashing all the time. Man, I got a the Whistle Baby song by Flo Rida in my head. I saw Flo Rida was suing somebody for $82 million, by the way. It's in my head. Here we go. Do, 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 do. Be, 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 do, do. Whoop, be, be, do, do. Whoop, ba, ba, da, da. I've been singing that stupid song all day. By the way, your boy's been working out the last 2 days. First time back in the gym. I am stupid sore. Very dumb by me. Very dumb. All right, I got to get to a break, and then we got to talk some football. I'll give you about 10 minutes of football talk. Dane Bergeron says, I see Coach Wade every week in Lake Charles. We both frequent. I talk to him often. He is very approachable. There you go, Dane. There you go. Good for you, my man. How about that? Dane loves him some Will Wade. Dane, it's time to move on. I mean, if you see him, talk to him. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. Time to move on a little bit here. All right. Quick break. We got some football stuff. We'll be out there for practice tomorrow. Some things that we need to expect. And maybe I'll ask you, what is the one thing you want to find out tomorrow about tomorrow's practice? Like, if you could go to tomorrow's practice and focus on one guy, tell me in the chat right now, what would you want to see and focus on if you were at practice tomorrow? We'll talk about it next. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with the great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements. By the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Whether you've been injured in an accident, you're preparing for a future with your estate planning, you're getting ready to close in on a real estate deal, or you're about to welcome a new addition through adoption into your family, or you're facing criminal charges, you need very experienced attorneys, and that is what the Drake Williams Law Firm will be able to do for you in navigating the legal system. The door to their cozy office in historic downtown Ponchatoula has been open since 1981. They have helped thousands and thousands of Louisiana families and individuals win cases, close on real estate deals, and regain that peace of mind. Their lawyers over at the Drake Williams Law Firm, Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, are very determined, compassionate, and dedicated to their craft. It's the Drake Williams Law Firm, drakewilliamslawfirm.com. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. Tell them your good friend Blake Ruffino at AYS sent you on by. Bayou Daiquiris at Bayou Bowl and Go is owned and operated locally by Steve and Lisa Bean. You can find them at 1512 North Highway 190 in Covington, Louisiana. That's 1512 North Highway 190 in Covington. The North Shore's first crawfish drive-thru is about to step it up another notch by bringing you drive-thru daiquiris as well. You can call in your order today at 985-888-1914, 985-888-1914, because you know what? Daiquiris and crawfish, it's a Louisiana thing.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
So we'll be out at football practice tomorrow and getting back into the swing of things there after they had spring break. Going to be great to see him. I mean, it really starts picking up us being there. Actually, things starting to get rolling here. Okay. And you don't have a lot of them, man. I mean, midway through April is not far along. So I asked you before the break, what are some things that you wanted to see? Like, if you could be out of practice tomorrow, where's the first place that you're going to look and see how things are progressing? I know a lot of you will say defense. We're going to get to some of the comments here about that. Danny Girl says, defensive line, is there anything else that matters? ? I do think that there's other things that matter. I still think that the secondary massively matters. I do think that always you have to be looking at the quarterback. Okay. What are they doing with Harold Perkins? I do think there are a lot more things other than just the interior of the defensive line that LSU has to focus on. Oh, by the way, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas aren't there anymore. What does C.J. Daniels look like? Okay, what is life like post those two dudes? What's life post Jaden Daniels? I think that at every position group, let me think about this. I think at every position group besides offensive line have question marks. I think that you have some idea offensively what you're going to get. I think you know what you're going to get from Kyron Lacey. I think you know pretty much what you'll get from a Chris Hilton. Let's see what C.J. Daniels can do. What do you get more from the tight ends? What happens, okay, in the slot? Do you get Aaron Anderson or Xavier Thomas moving? I know that you have some idea. Every position group has question marks. Literally. Other than the offensive line. That's what makes covering this entire team sometimes like, hey, man, did you see this? No, I was over here watching Deshaun Womack get a little rip move, a pull-in rip move, duck, lower hip, explode out on Will Campbell. So, no. I do think that there are a lot more that we have to look in on. Todd Davis says, I would really focus on DBs and DL. Look, I focused a lot on the defensive line day one. I think it was the number one concern. I mean, I pretty much sometimes was over there in the corner just standing by myself watching the D-line, like looking like a hobo. I mean, I was just sitting there. Everybody's like, oh, look at the sparkly little new quarterback. Oh, look at the running backs. My focus was on Bo Davis. Like, okay, how comfortable can we feel? Like, what are we doing here? I think DBs are next. I think specifically boundary corner. I mean, I want to see Jake Olsen in the safety too, but I think boundary corner, it's got to be the biggest thing for me because I think that's primarily where you gave up a lot too. You got beat way too many times on the perimeter. Got beat way too many times on the front too. I mean, but I got to look at perimeter. I am interested again about the running back room. I can't get my mind off of it. Look, I do think that the number two issue on this team right now is depth at running back. Even if you know that Trey Holly, for an outright fact, okay, is coming back, you can't be confident in that. Unless you know that the case gets done in August. Like, okay, how quickly can he be reinstated? What is his academic standing when he comes back? Does the NCAA allow? Does he have enough credits? There's so many things that go into that because he's missing an entire semester. So there comes a little bit of issue. It's got to be your number two concern. I mean, at this point, guys, we're just talking about depth issues, massive depth issues. Three's not enough, man. 3 is not enough. You cannot do it. And the Parrish kid, I think the Parrish kid, the Parrish kid that went into the portal, the running back today from Miami, I think he's going back to Ole Miss. Now, I get my morning recruiting tidbits from sources in the morning, mainly around breakfast time. And I sit there and read things while I'm eating some breakfast or mainly drinking coffee. Actually, I don't know why I say breakfast. I mean, basically getting the kids breakfast. But yeah. Things could change there, though. If I do think that there's an opening. If they wanted it, I don't think they wanted. By the way, what's up with Le'Veon Moss? That cryptic tweet he sent out, or not tweet, Instagram story. He sent another one. I don't know. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Ray Powell says, what about special teams? I got to be honest with you, Ray. I think that's the good question. I think punter is a big question. I think you look, man, I love Jay Bramblett, all those dudes. We were not good enough last year punting the football. He didn't have to a lot. I mean, barely ever had to. When he had to, he wasn't good. Guys, we were so bad punting the football last year. So bad. Like, I just want a dude down there who can kick that bitch 50. You know, I know that that's not easy. I know that that's not. But, man, you remember during the you want to talk about peak Saban era? Wasn't it like J.K. Scott? Dude, Saban, he didn't have a kicker to save his life. Dude had punters, bro. Dude had punters. I guarantee you, if there's anybody on the planet that paid punters to go to their school, it was definitely Saban. Dude had some, bro. He had some. You were not good there. You got to get better there. I think that's a good point. With something that we don't talk about enough. Let's see. Cole Adams, what's up, man? Says, who gets their scholarship pulled to add any players? We are 3 over 85 right now, and we need portal 3 to 5 in the spring portal. It's a good question. I don't know. I really don't know. I would expect maybe some DBs go in the portal, maybe a wide receiver or two, maybe. I'm talking about maybe. Safeties, maybe some corners. Might get your walking papers, man. I don't know. I'm thinking here. I mean, I have some that I think you would. Maybe, Chemo. Maybe Langlois. That'd be the only two I can think of. I think everybody else, they have an argument. But you got to go get them. I mean, at minimum, guys, you need 3. I mean, I'm talking about 3 total. You need a back and 2 interior defensive tackles. Other than that, from a numbers perspective, you don't need, absolutely need anything else. Unless it presented itself. Maybe you need a safety. Maybe you do go get a safety. Now, there is chatter that the spring portal is quote unquote going to explode. You know, I saw Josh Pate say that, hey man, prepare yourself for this spring portal. Okay, well, we can do that. Which reminds me, I got to get to this thing with Proctor too. Caden Proctor, the Iowa, let's just rehash it. Caden Proctor, the Alabama left tackle last year from Iowa, transferred back home to Iowa. Well, he's transferring back to Alabama today as news broke that he's going back to Tuscaloosa, probably to be their left tackle. And the irony is so big here. The irony is so massive because last week you had Nick Saban talking about how the portal is so bad, and then you have him talking about NIL. Meanwhile, you had Caden Proctor saying, hey, man, Iowa was tampering with me all throughout the season, and my coach left. All of a sudden, if you're going to tell me that there weren't some back deep door shit that was going on with Caden Proctor leaving Iowa, allegedly was getting paid from their collective, allegedly never stepped foot at a practice so far, and then he up and left, screwing over his state not once, but twice. I think the most hated person in the state of Iowa right now has to be Caden Proctor because he keeps screwing them over. I told you that you should root for the NCAA in some of this. Guys, the media, we as fans, we created this monster. Sorry, we did. We did. Because every time the NCAA tried to investigate somebody on something, all everybody said on social media and the peer pressure got to everybody, which is a complete other problem. I know that the NCAA is bad. I know that they will continue to do some bad things. Not everything that they were doing was bad. Popping Jeremy Pruitt for putting thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in McDonald's bags was the NCAA not picking on Tennessee. It just wasn't, man. Guys, it wasn't even, if you're an LSU fan, it wasn't on the NCAA for anything they popped LSU on. You got caught. Will Wade, football, James Craig, you got caught. Bottom line is, you can't say that they've done all bad. But now that you got Caden Proctor leaving Alabama, going back to Iowa, then coming back to Alabama because DeBoer's getting him some cash. Hey, man, I need some cash. I want Caden Proctor back here. Okay, sounds good, coach. Here's another 150. We love Nick, but we want to win. If you want to go toe-to-toe with Alabama money, if you really want to see Alabama really start spending money, Saban's out the door. Now the real Alabama starts to show itself. Because Saban could run a game and be a puppet master at everything that he was doing. Remember, that was exactly what Alabama did for Nick in recruiting when he got there. They were spending more money than everybody before he won a national title, taking anybody and everybody that he wanted. And that's how he did it. They're trying to do the same thing with DeBoer. Let's see if it holds. But the irony with Nick being being on Capitol Hill last week, and then it's happening with this old player that he recruited, that he paid to come to Alabama out of high school, to leave because he retired, and then the kid came back because the collective, by the way, that Nick Saban put his massive greatest of all time stamp on, is what gets Caden Proctor back. You're going to continue to hate me on these takes. I can't believe I'm pro-enforcement here. Why am I the pro-enforcement guy? I don't like the NCAA. Legitimately have told you how I feel about how they do things. I feel bad. The main thing about the Will Wade and LSU thing is the NCAA kept holding it over the fire on LSU so they couldn't breathe. That was the real problem that we had here. That's why I hate them. They did it to everybody else around the country. They've done so many bad things when it comes to players and to universities, holding shit over their head that was meaningless. And like, pop them and be done with it already. Stop leering over their nasty head. I told you when the FBI documentary on HBO came out that it would be worse for Will Wade than anybody from a coaching perspective. It was. You yelled at me. You screamed at me. You told some of you, I remember this like it was yesterday, one of them Facebook groups that I thought I had friends in. They were calling me a bitch and a no-good hater, all of that. When Will Wade, I said, man, Will Wade's going to receive more punishment off all this because Scott's going to want to get his own guy in here. Oh, you're a dumbass. What the fuck are you talking about? Okay, well, who's a dumbass now? You don't play in the world that I play in on a day in, day out basis. You don't have to make those phone calls. You think we built this into something, or whatever, to just bullshit our way through it? You're a dumb son bitch. You're a dumb son bitch. You believe that. Son of a bitch. So anyway, I don't get it. The sport that I love is crumbling because you won't allow enforcement. Let me tell you what should happen. People say, well, Blake, you say that. We see your point. What do you think that should happen? You know what I think should happen? Let the NCAA continue to investigate what things that could be potential infractions. Meanwhile, in the interim, conferences around the country have to band together and come together and say, hey, listen, CBS, ESPN, we're leaving the NCAA. So for the tournament that actually is about to be played, don't give the NCAA the money anymore. Give us the money. Because we're going to put our own 64-team bracket together, 68-team bracket together, and we're going to get moving. And CBS would probably say, okay, well, here's the $1 billion we're paying the NCAA. Here it is. And they'll succeed from it. And then the NCAA will probably be done even with behind the Riley Gaines investigation. And lawsuit that she just filed. So this sport, man, this sport. That's why you see so many people in my business making national moves. Because a lot of people are fearful of what's going to happen. And the guys who are the guys will be the guys, and a new day of media will dawn. All right. Cole Adams says NCAA can't enforce anything now. Courts put them on the bench. For NIL, not recruiting violations, though, Cole. They did not put them on the shelf for recruiting violations. There is no way in hell a court can throw out recruiting violations. We've actually seen them upheld, believe it or not. People have sued the NCAA before with NCAA guidelines and lost. I firmly disagree with that. NIL, fine. But tampering, look, tampering, it would be here's the thing. Tampering would be the biggest thing because tampering isn't allowed. Hey, you want to get some order? Let me tell you what I do. What I do if I was the NCAA, we're not investigating you on NIL. We're investigating you for tampering. Are other coaches having conversations with former players about them hitting the spring portal that is about to open up? Hey, we have evidence that makes us believe that Caden Proctor was I mean, what a shit show. What a shit show. Caden Proctor was tampered with when he went to Iowa. The coaches were talking to him there. He was tampered with to go back. Oh, by the way, when he was committed to Iowa the first time, Nick Saban needed a left tackle, so he went and put $250,000 to $300,000 in his face and said, hey, we'll pay you monthly after that. And he said, yeah, and he left Iowa and he came to Tuscaloosa. It's exactly what happened. And you kept rolling. Tampering is something they can enforce. Those rules are enforceable. Not everything has been taken from them. And I will tell you, if a court deems it that there are no recruiting rules or violations, I will tell you, I will lose my shit. Because I don't see this being guys, it's not going to be, we're not going to fix it soon. Not everything is going to be fixed. There's only one way that it can be fixed, and it's not doable right now. A collective bargaining agreement is the only thing that's doable. They can't do that. At least I don't think they can. It's a massive thing to pull off. But I talked to a legislature, last week, and he said, how can we have a collective bargaining agreement when the states and federal government are the ones supplying the schools money and aid every year? The state actually owns Louisiana State University. I don't know. I asked him about it, and he said that would be, he just couldn't see a collective bargaining agreement being passed. I don't know, man. Cole says those lines are pretty. Let me ask you that. He says, or I'll just put it up. He says the lines are pretty thin between the two, right? The money involved in the tampering, they're burnt, right? No, not in my opinion, because Cole, the problem with that is, okay, the collective they don't have to involve the collective. Like the money thing does not have to be investigated. The booster at Tennessee was tampering, right? No, he wasn't tampering. That wasn't tampering. That was a recruiting violation. I mean, it depends on what we're defining tampering. The NCAA never says anything about schools not contacting recruits at any given moment. I mean, they do. You get what I'm saying? Like, any school can call any recruit in a non-dead period. That's not tampering. Tampering is when a coach from another school is telling another player from another school, hey, man, we need you to get in the portal. We're going to pay you this much amount. Even if let's just forget about the money for a moment. I know you can't, but hey, we're going to pay you to come over here. Even if they told them, hey, we want you to come over here, and money was never discussed and the kid came, that is tampering. You start investigating people for tampering, if a court throws that out, then I promise to God I will go nuclear. And it will be the final straw that breaks college football's back. Y'all go ahead out there and say to yourselves, hey, man, we need no enforcement. You will break the sport. You know, this country tried to defund enforcement before. How did that work out? we literally saw something happen in front of our eyes as a country. And then you see a business going through a lot of the same stuff. Hey, man, fuck the enforcement. No enforcement's needed. We don't need rules and regulation. What? Oh, God. The court reasoning for the judgment was that that a player that is in high school has the ability to talk to a booster or a collective for NIL if that's where they wanted to go to the school. Recruiting and players being on another player being on another team that's already enrolled is a completely different thing. And I agree with Todd here. He says, even if it was, Tennessee knew what the booster was doing. 1,000%. Josh Heupel sent that motherfucker. If you think Josh Heupel didn't send his lead booster to go get Nico Iamaleava, you're an idiot. You're a buffoon. From the LSU side, it'd be like Brian Kelly calling up Gordon, and it'd just be like Gordon doing the same shit. Or Todd Graves, whoever. You know what it is. Guys, you know what it is. The bag man was there. Shee. All right. I went too long. I got to be at practice at 7:50. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.